Hey guys, today I'm going to show you how to make a QGIS selection map for Wikipedia. Before you start, you're going to want to go to this page, which I'll probably link in the description. And you're going to want to copy the presidential and down ballot codes into Wikipedia along with the tie colors. And I'll show you how I did that. Basically, for Wikipedia down ballot, since they only go up, they only go from, like, you see there's no like 0 to 10 color, it only starts at 10%. I use the 0 to 10 for Democrat to make it 50% time, 0 to 10 Republican to make it 10. But also, as you can see, there's like a small gap here because you can't exactly make them overlap perfectly. So what I'm going to show you later on, but you're going to have to use color codes to, or like formulas in Excel to convert those so that you know for a fact that they will be a Wikipedia color. Then Wikipedia president, similar thing done, except president only goes from 30 to 40, so I have those like that, and then the middle section is just the tie color, and similar issue with small gaps between them, like with the down ballot. So I'll show you how to fix that, but we'll get back to this later. Just make sure you put those into Q, just make sure all the colors are properly aligned. So like this would be, this mark would be at like 95% and 100% because the thing goes from 0 to 10 in the color ramp. This would be, you'd have a marker here at like 90 and 85 or around there basically. And yeah. So today I'm going to be mapping out all the statewide elections that Montana has, which also have Wikipedia articles. So I'm going to download this from the Harvard Voting and Election Science team, assuming that this loads. That is it going to load? I'm just going to reload this page since it's not working. T_2020 download shapefile, accept. Okay, now it's working. And once this loads, once this loads, copy. I'm just copying this and extracting another folder. Then open the .dbf file because that's what has the data. Here we actually don't have any unique IDs, but these IDs will be unique to each individual county. So we're gonna have to make IDs using both of these. And then first of all, the G20 thing here means it's a general election for year 20. Then the 3 digits after indicates the office. PRU means president, and we're going to need that. Then the letter after that indicates party. R in this case would be Republican. And the 3 letters after that would indicate the 3 letters of the candidate's last name. So TRU is Trump. So yeah, these are all presidents. USS means US Senate. HAL is House at Large. Gov is GOV. ATG is Attorney General. SOS is Secretary of State. You don't have to worry about Auditor or the other one. Those do not have Wikipedia articles. So I'm going to paste this here. I'm also going to shrink these so that they're not in my way. Then I'm going to create a total column, D% column, R% column. This time something new, N DPCT column, N RPCT column. And then I'm going to label this PCT Pres, since this is President. That's the same thing as your D-R. Then after President, I believe it's US Senate. Yeah. So we're going to go over here, under Pres, we change this to US Senate. After Senate, we are going to want House at Large. It doesn't really matter what you name it after the PCT thing, just as long as you're able to remember what it is. After PCT House, we're going to want Governor. That one I probably will just make Gov. I'm just going to change it up here. Gov. After Gov, we want Attorney General, and then SOS. We want Attorney General, and then we want SOS. SOS. So we have, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different things. Yeah, that's correct. Okay. Oh, I should probably also make the IDs for this. So I'm gonna make it the very end of here. I'm just gonna do this already, and then this is gonna be yeah, I'll just make this later, but it's not difficult. So total is going to be equals sum, and then of course the president columns. D% is equals D. DBID means Democrat Biden divided by this. Republican percent are Trump divided by this. NDPCT. What I usually do for this is, since I've already made it before, I just go to my recycling bin and just find one of the old ones that I've already used. Let me see. Which one of these is president? Probably this one. We'll see. We'll see if that one has president or if that one's like some random thing. No, this is not it. So I'm gonna delete that, and then I'm gonna go back to my recycling bin and just look for another one that I made, because I know I have made the present thing before and I don't want to have to redo it. I saw DE, yeah. Do I have a Delaware thing in here? North Carolina. Okay, I know I did make one for North Carolina. Yeah, I've already done this before so once you do it like the first time, I just like save the formulas in a different spreadsheet, copy from there. So yeah, this one's president formula, so I'm gonna need these three, and I'll explain to you what they are. So basically this one, if you could see, it says if this is less than 0.4, because it only goes from 0.3 to 0.4. That's the lowest one for president. Then I set it to 0.35, meaning that if the Democrat number is under 40%, it automatically sets to 0.35. Then if it's not under that, 0.5 to 0.45, etc., all the way up to if it's less than 1, 0.95. And if that is not true, if none of those work, then you just set it to that exact cell. And that basically ensures that it will be a nice clean number. As in, anything from 0.5 to 0.6 will get converted to 0.55, anything from 0.4 to 0.5 will get converted to 0.45, and then this thing over here, you can see it says if this original Democrat one is greater than this, you're not going to want to use the NDPC and RPCT, because sometimes those will be equal if they're both like in between like 40 and 50. So you want to base it off of these two. So if those are, if the DPCT is greater than the RPCT, then you pick the NDPCT. If that is not true, then you do if the RPCT is greater than the DPCT, then we have the NRPCT divided by -1, because of course the Republican percent is always going to be negative. Then we do if S2 equals R2, which is basically the remaining ones are going to be that unless it's a div 0 error. Then if that is true, then it equals to 0, because that is going to be the tie color. And if that is not true, then we just pick R2, which is yeah, that's fairly arbitrary. It just means that it's going to give a div 0 error basically. So yeah, that's all you need to worry about this. This could really be, yeah, it could be S2 or anything, but yeah. Then I'm just going to copy this down, and I'll also show you that another important thing about this is that it's not just the fact that it gets rid of all the potential error, but it also creates all these nice even numbers, so that when we're actually putting into Wikipedia later, we won't have to like scroll through like a massive sheet of data to find out which numbers we actually have. Here we could clearly see that the only Democrat percentages are from 40 to 50, 50 to 60, 60 to 70, 70 to 80, 80 to 90, and over 90%. And looks like a similar thing for the Republican. So that's what you're going to need for president. For Senate, it's going to be slightly different. First of all, I'm going to get rid of this filter. For Senate, the NDPCT, NRPCT, and PCT United States Senate are going to be slightly different, but they're still very similar. There's only two, right? I just want to make sure. Yeah. Okay. on this one. This is the sum from that. dPCT is this divided by this. Oh wait. Yeah, that's correct. RPCT is this divided by this. And dPCT and RPCT, PCT, USS. So these formulas are slightly different. I'm just going to copy them from here again. And of course, because formulas paste relative to where they were previously, these automatically detect to this. So for this, it's slightly different. Instead of starting at 0.4 to and then goes to 0.35, it starts at 0.2. That's the only thing different with this is like this beginning part really. RPCT is the same thing as that, of course, except based on this Y cell instead of this X cell. And then the percent is also slightly different. So everything in the beginning is the same with the greater thans and that, but instead of having if this is equal to this, we have it as if y2 is less than 0.5. It could also be if x2 is less than 0.5. It basically says that if these two are equal, because that's already implied, if it's greater than, if it's not greater than or it's not less than, that means it must be equal to, or just a div 0 error. And yeah, if y2 is less than 0.5, then that means we get negative 0.05, which is the 40 to 50% color, because if you remember on the QGIS color scale, if I go to Style Manager, and then I go here, you can see I made it as the 0 to 10% for Republicans, and then the 50% is going to be, and then this 0.05 basically means that if it's not less than 0.5, that means it must be equal to 0.5, because that's the only other scenario when it's a tie. And that means it'll be an exact tie, so we do 0.05 as that. And then if it's not a number, if it's like a div 0 error, then it'll just spit out a div 0, so we don't have to worry about that. Like you can see right here, there's div 0 errors, even though we didn't say anything regarding those. And then once again, another benefit to this, you could filter and you could see all of them. Looks like we don't have any ties here, which is nice. And yeah, from this part, you don't really need this anymore. You could just delete this, because then you could just copy them relative to the other thing. You can X this, delete that. So yeah, these are just basically when it's down ballot. These are when it's presidential. For House, it's going to be the same thing. 2 for House, it seems, equals House this divided by this. R% is this divided by this, and then we can just copy these over. Since this is also using the down arrow color scheme, you'll see that it just all pastes relative to this, which is what we want. Then paste the whole thing once again, go over to PCT.gov, and we can do the same thing. Copy the governor ones, yeah, that's good. D%gov, so G20gov R, G20gov, or G20gov D, I mean. Now we need G20gov R, G20gov R. We can actually see this is actually going to be a scenario where it's important that these are based off of these two. Because otherwise, if we based it off of the NDPCT for this formula, then it would just say that this is like 0. Or it would say that this is a negative 0.05, which it obviously isn't. And then 2 more, I believe, Attorney General, Secretary of State, yeah. So we can do equals sum. Attorney General is, yeah, that's those two. G20, ATGD. And then we need G20 ATGR. Yeah, that's correct. Copy these, paste, and then lastly, Secretary of State, and then we're going to create the IDs. Some Secretary of State, just those two. Then we do this divided by this. Republican percent is this divided by this. Copy, paste, copy these three, go down, paste these. And then for the new ID, I'm just going to do equals, and then the county, and name, and, oh, what did I just do? I'm going to copy this, and there we have all our IDs. Now we're done with this. I'm just going to save this as empty_final. And then we can X this out. Now we can go to QGIS, open a new one, and I'm just going to drag in this, and project it properly. Montana. I guess I haven't used this in a while. That looks good. Now I'm going to join. Oh, and actually joining this is going to be slightly more complicated. You know, what you're wanting to do, what you're going to want to do is right click this, click open attribute table, click this thing up here that says open field calculator or control I. Then you're going to want to type concat, and then we're going to want to concat the two fields that we just picked in order. So of course we're going to want county, and we're also going to want name. Close parentheses on that. Oh, and I'm also going to name this new ID and change output field type to text string. Press OK, and if we scroll to the side, we should see our new IDs created. That's good. And then we can go to properties, joins, new ID, OK, apply. I'm going to check the attribute table to make sure that joined properly. Looks like it did. Yeah, everything's proper. Then we can go to properties, symbology, fill color. You're going to want to make this the node data color, which is going to be this, and you're going to make that the default for all of them. Press OK. Turn off line color. That's what I usually do. You could probably also make it white, which a lot of Wikipedia maps sometimes have. And this is the same thing. Make sure you put in your color. Actually, I'm going to do the presidential one first. Make sure to do the proper color scheme for each one that you create. And then this is president, so we want president. This is going to be Montana President 2020. If you don't know what I'm typing right now, you should probably look at the previous video I made on how to do this. And we can see everything. Yeah, that looks proper. Next, instead of exporting how we usually do, what you can do is going to go project, new print layout, name it something distinguishable. So I usually try to name them in similar formats. Then what you can do is click this button over here that says add map, and then just go drag this to the whole thing. Then scroll all the way down here, untick this background thing, right click on the map, click page properties, click background, and then on this opacity thing just click a bunch of times here until it says 0. Also, if you want to change the size of the map, you could change it here. I should probably do that actually. What I usually do for that is I check based on the sizes here. I just want to check to make sure that these are both the same size. Let me see. So this is 744 by 422. Those are different sizes, I think. So I'm just going to calculate what I need to multiply the height by to shh. And then we need to don't look at that. The height is, or the width is 297 times 297. So that means our height should be 172, I believe. So I'm going to make this height 172. Hopefully that this works properly. Make sure it's along that dotted line so it's centered. And I think this should work. Let me see. Let me just make sure I divide the right things. Yeah, 184 is this divided by this. So that's height divided by width and then we multiply by the width, so that should give us the new height that we need. So yes, this is good. Then once we have this, click this button up here that says export as SVG. Waiting for that to load. Press save. It's supposed to pop some other menu. It's going really slow for some reason. Oh, yep, this is it. Then I usually untick the simplified geometries to reduce output file size because I like to have it full file size. And yeah, this should be saved now. Then we can go to here, check to make sure that it actually saved correctly, and yeah, that looks good. Next, I'm going to do this for all the other ones. Just going to try to rush through these. I believe the next one was USS, and the color scheme for down one is this. Apply. That looks good. Project, blueprint layout. Empty underscore Senate underscore 2020. Yeah, I'm actually gonna. Yeah, after this, I think I'm just gonna stop the recording and create another video for how you actually put it into Wikipedia. But yeah, you just do this, turn down the opacity all the way, then we probably want to do the same thing with this. I actually want to see, are these the same size? Because that'll make it easier for later on. Okay, they are, so these are probably made by the same person. So then this divided by this times, and then we go into QGIS and we check 297, and just paste this in, and I'll just do 176. Right, it's 176. Is that the same thing here? No, it's slightly different. And then I'll just drag this up, select center like that, export as SVG, save this, and yeah, it's basically going to be the same process for all the other maps. I'm just going to get through those now and then show you how to do the rest on Wikipedia.